Welcome to the Divine Connection Podcast. I'm your host, Cristina Aroche, and together we are walking the path of discovering your true self and the alignment with your soul. Through these conversations, you will experience a deeper level of connection with yourself and the universe, and most importantly, you will trust in your spiritual journey ahead. Let's begin. Hello, and welcome to another episode of the Divine Connection Podcast. Today, we are talking about the key things that every healer needs to know. And this was inspired by a question that was submitted that said, how can you guide me through being able to become a light worker or a healer? And this is a great question because there's a lot to cover here, but I wanted to highlight a few key things for anyone who is on this path who might have an inkling that you are a light worker, or you have an inkling that you're meant to be a healer, and you're just kind of like, okay, but how do I actually start? How do I actually pursue that path? How do I step into that actual calling? Because I have no idea where to start. I don't know what's next. I just know that I'm here as a healer. Or perhaps you have maybe already started down the path of healing and being a healer. Maybe you've learned some healing modalities, but you're just like, okay, but what do I do now? How do I actually apply this in a way that makes an impact in the way that I want to? How do I do this but not be burnt out along the way? Because that's something that I often see with people, is that they get burned out doing this because they're not exactly working in alignment with their soul's true purpose. So I want to cover that in today's podcast episode. And so the first thing that I think every healer needs to know is that you need to know the difference between your healing gifts and your healing skills, because those are two different things. And often people use them interchangeably. I used to think that too way back when. And I realized over the past over 7 years now of doing this work that there actually is a difference. There's a difference between your healing gifts and your healing skills. So when it comes to your skills, this is your healing abilities. This is the actual skill of channeling healing frequencies to support another person, to help them to alleviate pain, to guide them into their subconscious, to help them understand something about their past or a subconscious feeling or thought or belief that they're holding on to. Things like that. That's a skill. So, for example, if you have studied Reiki, being able to work with Reiki energy, that's a skill that you learned. It's not a gift, it's a skill. And with a skill, the way that you can tell the difference is a skill or ability is something that anybody can learn. So anyone can learn Reiki, anyone can learn angelic healing, anyone can learn whatever other healing modality. You can learn that. It's something that you can practice, that you can study, practice, and master and get really good at. Now, when it comes to skills and abilities, just like any other skill and ability, we all have our unique strengths. So some people are stronger at certain skills and abilities than others, and vice versa. And the best way I can relate this is with math, for example. We all learn math. We all learn it in school. We all have that skill. But there are certain people who have a natural strength at math and others who don't. And that's just the way we are. It's just the way our brains are. Some of us are skilled at it and some of us are not. And it's not good or bad or anything. It's just what it is. And so you lean towards the skills that you're strongest at. And so it's the same thing with healing. You have skills that you might be stronger at than other ones, and that's okay. You just lean into the ones that are stronger for you and the ones that you enjoy, that you actually enjoy. Some people enjoy math, other people's do not. And the ones who enjoy it lean more towards math or math-related careers or studies or whatever. And the ones that do not, run away from it. And it's all good. So it's a very similar thing here when it comes to your skills. As a healer, there's a whole range of different skills that you can learn. You don't need to learn all the skills. You don't need to learn all of the abilities. It's simply a matter of focusing on the ones that you are most excited about, that you love, that you enjoy, and that you're naturally good at. And so I found that for a lot of people that I've mentored and that I've worked with, they have a natural desire, and they have this natural tendency to go towards angelic energy and angelic healing, and they enjoy it. And so that's why when I teach that specific healing modality, it clicks for them because they have that natural strength, or they're guided to it, or whatever. So that's just one example. Now, when it comes to your gifts, this is something that you hold innately within you. It's connected to your soul. And so your gifts are naturally there. And also, we still have to practice them. So just because we have certain gifts doesn't mean that we're just going to be really great at it right from the beginning. Your gifts still need to be practiced. Your gifts still need to be mastered. However, you'll notice that once you start practicing those specific gifts, that you naturally pick up on them, and it's something that you're just naturally drawn towards, and it's connected to your soul. And so your gifts are the ways in which your soul desires to express itself. So examples of gifts are speaking, writing, art, music, singing, dancing, etc. You name it. So the way in which you express yourself. So think of all those things. Those are all ways of expression. Dancing is a form of expression. Art is a form of expression. Music is a form of expression. Speaking, writing, all of those ways are ways in which we express ourselves. And so we have natural gifts towards these different types of expressions. Some of us do these types of expressions for fun, and some of us do them as part of our soul's purpose and our soul's work. So, for example, you might really love music and you might even know how to play an instrument, but you might not necessarily be doing it on a professional level. And then other people are doing it on a professional level, and that's just like their path, because that's where their purpose is, that's where their calling is. And then on the flip side, that same person who is playing that instrument, on the side, they might really love the expression of writing, and maybe they write poems and things like that, but they don't do that professionally. And maybe you, who loves to play the instrument but not doing it on a professional level, you actually really love to write, and maybe you are a writer in some form on a professional level. So you can see how we have different types of expressions that we all hold. We're not stuck to just one. You don't have to just choose one expression, one gift, and that's it. We have we have a blend of those gifts, and maybe not all of them, not all the ones that I listed, but you'll notice that you have at least 2 or 3 that you're more naturally inclined towards as a form of expression. So that's the first thing that I want you to differentiate here and understand as a healer, is that you have gifts and you have abilities, aka skills. You need both as a healer. You need to be using both. You need to be using your gifts as a form of expression, a form and a way of bringing through healing energy into the world, whatever way. If you're speaking, you're bringing through healing energy. If you're writing, you're bringing through healing energy. If you're dancing, you're bringing through healing energy. If you are creating art, music, whatever it is, you're bringing through healing energy through that expression. And that's the beauty, that's the magic of it. That's the gift. That's the gift. You have a way with words, if you are a speaker or a writer, a way with words that really helps people to understand a concept or helps them to see things from a different perspective. That's a gift. Okay. So that's one thing. And then you pair that with your skills, the healing modalities that you have learned or are learning, and that goes together. Now, the next thing that's important to know is that it doesn't stop there. The other important thing for healers to understand is that your healer archetype is going to influence how you use your gifts and your skills, in what direction you go. Because if you think of it, there's so many different ways in which you can bring those to life. You can bring it to life specifically working with children, working with older people, working with the environment, working in so many different ways and different callings that might exist. So your healer archetype, and there's 3 archetypes that exist. There's the earth healer, there's the ethereal healer, and there is the frontline healer. If you want to learn more about the healer archetypes, I'm going to link to that below in the show notes. So you can go check out more information about the healer archetypes, as well as learn more about your specific healer archetype. I have a free quiz that you can do to know your healer archetype. So that's linked for you below. Now, aside from that, depending on which one you are, whichever one is your primary, you are going to notice that based on that, you're going to be more inclined towards a specific purpose, a specific calling. Each of these healer archetypes also have specific gifts that they hold. Okay, so it's like gifts layered upon gifts. One form of the gift is the expression, like I talked about, and the other one is a way in which you work with energy. So for example, with earth healers, they're really amazing at simplifying complex ideas. So it's a way in which you're working with energy, right? An idea is energy. So if you have this complex idea or a complex emotion, and it just feels, for a lot of people, feels very overwhelming, if you are an earth healer, you have a gift of helping people to take that complex thing and breaking it down and simplifying it and allowing people to move through whatever they need to move through to feel more at peace and feel more at ease. So each of these three archetypes have their specific thing, and they have a specific energy. So for example, ethereal healers, their main energy that they bring through is to elevate. So for earth healers, it's to bring peace and harmony. For ethereal, it's to elevate. For frontline healers, it's to inspire and to really motivate change to happen. So there's so much that exists within this, but that's just a little overview for you to understand that there's a lot that we can dive into that's, beyond the scope of this episode. And I'll share more about how we can dive into this together in a little bit. But for now, this is what you need to know regarding the archetypes. So once you understand your healer archetype, you combine that with your gifts, you combine that with your skills, and boom, there you are. This is the best path for you to step into your purpose as a healer. Now, the third and final thing that I'll share with regards to you pursuing this path and you stepping into your purpose as a healer is prayer. I feel like prayer is one of the most beautiful, simple forms of receiving guidance and just surrendering to your divine path. And my favorite prayer is really just about asking the divine, God, source, whatever name you use. For me, it's God. And so what I say is, God, please show me how you would use me today for your greater divine purpose. How am I meant to show up? How am I meant to bring through divine light and love through my work, through who I am, through my beingness? Show me how, and I'm ready. And so just sharing that prayer, sending that prayer out, and knowing that you're guided, knowing that when you surrender into the divine, greater divine plan, it's going to show you the way. That is literally the prayer that I prayed all those years ago that led me down the path to discovering my connection with the angels and discovering my greater purpose when it comes to bringing through the energy, the light, the love of the angels to a bigger platform. So, and I still pray that prayer to this day, to continue to be guided and to know that I'm on the right path. So that's the last thing that I'll share for anyone who's out there who is wanting to really come into their true selves, their purpose as a healer. That prayer is going to serve you. Now, if you are on this path, like I said, I mentioned this earlier, that I do have a way in which I can support you and guide you more specifically through this process that I just outlined, and that is called the Angelic Healing System. So this is a system that I have curated over the years doing this work, mentoring so many amazing people along the way, of what you need to know in order to step into your divine purpose as a healer. And so inside of this course, it's a self-study course, which means that you can take it at your own pace. Inside of this course, this is where I show you how to understand bringing through your skills, your gifts, and your healer archetype together in order to know your true path. I do also teach you the angelic healing modality, kind of like the basics, level 1 of the angelic healing modality. So you will know angelic healing on that basic level, as well as be guided towards your purpose and understanding your gifts, understanding your healer archetype and how those gifts come together to support you. So with this course, it's really about understanding how no matter what you're called to do, that when you work with the angelic healing frequency, that it elevates the work that you do. It elevates your gifts. It elevates how you show up, and it elevates the impact that you are making in people's lives. So when you work with angelic healing frequency, yes, I'm going to teach you how to do literally energy healing with the angels, but also I'm teaching you how to channel angelic healing frequency through your speaking, through your writing, through your art, through your music, through whatever it is that you're here to do. So it's not just boxing you into the traditional energy healing space, but it really helps you to expand into whatever way, whatever your purpose is, but having the angelic guidance, the angelic frequency behind you, which makes a huge difference. It's like you compare me doing it by myself versus me doing it with the angels. Which one is going to have a bigger impact? You doing it with the angels. So that's what the Angelic Healing System is all about. Right now you can join. Go get all the details in the show notes. The link is there. You can go check it out. If you have any questions, you can always reach out to me via DM on Instagram or through the contact form on my website. So I cannot wait to support you on this journey with the Angelic Healing System. So that is it for this episode today. I would love to hear from you if you're watching me on YouTube in the comments below the video. If you're listening to me on the podcast, then message me on Instagram. Let me know where you're at on your journey as a healer. Let me know which of these concepts or ideas is maybe new to you or that you're excited to explore. Post it below or message me and let me know. And I cannot wait to continue this conversation with you. So that is it for today. I am sending you so much love and blessings. If you enjoyed this episode, then please give it a thumbs up or rate this podcast on Apple Podcasts or Spotify, wherever you're listening. And this helps to get this out to more people. Feel free to share this episode in your Instagram stories, Instagram posts, whatever it is. Share it with your friends, your family. And that's it for today. So once again, I'm sending you so much love, so many angel blessings, and I will see you again soon. Bye. Thank you once again for tuning in. Don't forget to subscribe and leave a review. And if you want to learn more about the Divine Connection podcast, you can go to CristinaAroche.com/podcast and learn about how you can be featured on the show.